Hi guys, welcome back to ABC Consult channel. If you are yet to subscribe to the channel, find the subscribe button below, click on the subscribe button and ensure that you get subscribed to the channel. Hi guys, every business has got a reason for existence, as well as what are the goals that are needed to be set in order to ensure that this identified mission is being met. Today, we'll be looking at the most analysis, which will help to uncover the mission, the objective, as well as the strategy and tactics of any business. If you have not seen the last video where we spoke on what is business analysis and the required skill, please kindly find the link by the top left or the bottom of the screen, and I'm sure that you'll be able to access the video. Join me as we discuss the most analysis today. Thank you. Today, we'll be looking at most analysis. What is most analysis? Most stands for mission, objective, strategy, as well as tactic. It's an acronym, most. So today, we'll take our time to look at what each of these items means and how an analyst can leverage this information in order to uncover hidden information as well as problems within any given organization. So we begin by looking at what is mission. What does the word mission mean when looking at the most analysis? Mission is a statement that communicates the fundamental reason of an organization's existence. What this means is that every organization has got a reason for existence. This mission must be communicated in simple language, in a simple statement that everyone can understand. In communicating this mission, this is going to serve as the end result of every organization. And that is why it is important to note that the mission of any organization must be documented. This is needed to be documented so as to ensure that the information in respect to existence is clear to the organization as a whole, to customers, and even to the business owners. Talking about objectives. Objectives to a large extent must be smart in nature. When I say smart in nature, I mean objectives which tend to mean goal must be specific, must be measurable, must be achievable, must be relatable, and of course, to a large extent, must be time-bound. So when we are setting objectives, which also mean when a goal is to be set, this goal must be specific, and this goal to a large extent must be measurable as well as must be time-bound. These goals must be in alignment with the organization mission, and that is what will help to ensure that the organization activity is in alignment with the set mission. This, to a large extent, serve as a roadmap for the organization required effort and action in order to help achieve the set mission. That is, in order for the mission that has been set to be met, it is important for clear goals to be identified so as to ensure that these clear goals, once they are being achieved one after another, helps the organization as a whole to understand that the organization is on the right track to continue to meet the identified mission. In order for this goal to be achieved, it is important to identify what is called the strategy. The strategy tends to mean the long-term plan that will help the organization to meet these identified goals. Remembering that the environment, of course, to a large extent, the market is dynamic in nature. The market tends to change as, of course, human wants tends to change. So the strategy of any organization must be in alignment with the goals that are being set. Now, talking about in alignment with the goals that are being set, what we are trying to say here, or what this statement simply means, is that for the goals to be achieved, there are a set of action that must take place in order to ensure that these goals are being met. And this is what the strategy is covering. The strategy is looking at the long-term plan that needs to be put in place by any organization in order to ensure that the goals are being achieved, knowing fully well that once goals are being achieved, we are on the right track to achieve the organization mission. In other words, strategy are the long-term plan in order to achieve the identified goals. Now, not only is it important for us to identify what the strategy of the organization is, in order to achieve this long-term plan, then there's a need to understand the tactics. The tactics in place to a large extent is talking about the immediate activity, the planned immediate activity on how each of these goals are to be met. When we say the strategy focuses on the long-term plan, the tactics is looking at the short-term plan, a detailed plan on what is needed to be done currently in order to ensure that the organization is on the right course. In order for any analyst to carry out the most analysis, it is important to understand each of these items and what they stand for. Now, talking about how to get information in respect to the most analysis, how do I get information about the organization mission, objective, strategy, as well as tactics? You can always leverage what we call document analysis. Of course, within the organization, there are documents that can provide this information to yourself just to ensure that you have this information and, of course, it is well documented. We also have stakeholders within the organization that can provide insight into some of these identified items. And of course, in carrying out the most analysis, all you need to do is to come up with a table with these 4 columns, each column representing one item. Of course, just like you have on the screen, a column representing the mission, the objective, the strategy, as well as the tactic. And once this information is being gathered, you can input this information on this table. And what this will do is that this will help you to understand the business position, even among competitors. And as a matter of fact, this is also regarded as an internal analysis that can be done within any organization. One good thing that any analyst, of course, to a large extent, any business analyst can carry out when he or she finds him or herself on any project is to carry out the most analysis. Even though there is a project that is needed to be done, is the project that is needed to be carried out in alignment with the organization mission? Is this project going to help the organization in order to achieve the set goals, talking about the objectives? So all these questions needs to be answered, and that is why organization will pay you as high as £500 per day, because they want to ensure that the project that is being embarked upon is in alignment with the organization mission. In some cases, you will need to carry out a justification on why that project needs to be carried out. And that is why the most analysis is an important analysis that needs to be carried out by a business analyst. Now, talking about the most analysis, we've got various benefits of most analysis. One of the benefits of most analysis that has been identified on the screen is it will help the stakeholder make an informed decision. For example, if the project to be embarked upon is not in alignment with the organization objective, carrying out the most analysis will give a very good understanding to the business stakeholder in order to make a decision. The decision can be as simple as investing into this project or even choosing to prioritize other projects above the set project. It helps not only to identify risk, but to mitigate risk. If the most analysis is being identified, is being carried out, it will help the analyst uncover any hidden risk within the organization that can serve as a barrier, as a blocker to the successful implementation of this project. And once this risk has been identified, mitigating factor can also be put in place in order to what? In order to accommodate or even eliminate the risk. It also helps in resource allocation. Like I said earlier, once the objective has been identified, questions around Is this the right project that needs to be carried out? Is this the right project that needs to be invested in? Questions like this will always come up, and the most analysis is one analysis that will help organization to ensure that the limited resource is being allocated appropriately. Enhanced planning. It helps organization to carry out planning in respect to what are the projects that are needed to be carried out in order to ensure that the strategy that has been put in place is in alignment with the set goals. If the understanding of the set goals are not understood, the organization may not be able to plan appropriately. But with the most analysis, once you are able to understand the organization objective as well as the strategy, it helps the business owners to understand and carry out appropriate plans in order to ensure that the objectives are being met. It helps organizations to adapt to changes, knowing fully well that to a large extent, the environment is dynamic in nature, and of course, customers' needs change as time changes. So it is important to carry out the most analysis to ensure that is the organization still in the business of meeting the customer's need, as well as the needs of the customers are changing. Is there a need to also, of course, carry out some form of adjustment in respect to the goals that are needed to be met? All these questions will be answered accurately if the most analysis is being carried out. It helps to improve efficiency delivered to customer. I've already mentioned this, of course, with my explanations, knowing fully well that if the most analysis is being carried out, it helps the organization to achieve efficient value that is needed to be delivered to customer. It also gives the organization a competitive advantage. To a large extent, you will tend to understand if the set goals are in alignment with the customer need, with the value that are needed to be delivered to customer. All these are the advantage, are the benefits of carrying out a most analysis. And I will say this, the most analysis will help a business analyst that is just joining an organization to understand the business the organization is engaged in. And of course, how services or even products are delivered to the consumer. These are the importance of carrying out a most analysis, especially for a business analyst in any given organization. Having said that, in carrying out the most analysis, it is important to note that this information can be gathered from document analysis, as well as gathering this information from stakeholders that can be found within any organization. This is what I intend to share with you today. I want to believe that you enjoyed the session. Thank you for watching, guys. If you have not subscribed to the channel, ensure that you like and subscribe to the channel. If you have any question, I'll be in the comment section to attend to every of your